25 months after TSN analyst Bob McKenzie brought Philippe Myers into the spotlight, saying he looked NHL ready or close to it, the prospect finally got his first look in a Flyers sweater Sunday during a 3-1 win in Detroit, and he didn't disappoint. Tonight in Detroit, hybrid of Samuel Morin and Travis Sanheim, and it was interesting to hear interim head coach Scott Gordon's pre-game comments, labeling Myers a blend of Sam Morin and Travis Sanheim. He's got some bite and some edge, and he has the skill of Travis. His skating ability is very comparable to Sanheim and perhaps even a little better, as he won a foot race in the second period to eliminate a potential scoring chance. At one point in the third period, Myers, 7:59, had more ice time than Shane Gostisbehere, 7:53, but Gordon didn't want to assert any more pressure on the rookie defenseman with a one-goal lead. Myers' last shift came with 8:40 remaining in regulation as he finished with 9:53 toy, seeing only 1:54 in the third period. Breaking down Myers' shifts, 5 came with Ivan Provorov, 4 with Andrew McDonald, 3 with Gostisbehere and 1 with Robert Hagg. Right away, Gordon showed some confidence in the 22-year-old defenseman. On Myers' second shift of the game, Gordon had him out there for an offensive zone face-off with the Flyers' fourth line. Later in the first period, Myers was tasked with a defensive zone face-off with the Nolan Patrick line. Gordon certainly wasn't shying Myers away from any situation. We saw that bite and edge early on as he pinned his man against the boards like a Flyer thumbtacked to a bulletin board. The one element to Myers' game that's already a notch better than Sanheim's is his ability to separate a player from the puck. The one play everyone will remember is Myers' slight pinch to keep the puck deep in the offensive zone, which eventually led to Provorov's game-winning goal. The simple play looked very effortless and the type of plays he has repeatedly made throughout his time with the Phantoms. When I asked him recently about his assertiveness in the offensive end this season, Myers told me he's just playing on instincts and not purposely thinking about jumping into the play. Myers' mother and father hopped on an early flight from Moncton, New Brunswick, caught a connection in Montreal and flew into Detroit to catch their son play his first game, one they'll never forget. First of many picked out twitter.com/oxm5b Katie Buck, John Bork, at John Bork and BC's, February 18, 2019. Now you're left wanting more from Myers, and perhaps wondering when that next game might come. Click here to download the My Teams app by NBC Sports. Receive comprehensive coverage of your teams and stream the Flyers, Sixers and Phillies games easily on your device. More on the Flyers box score. There's no place like a home and home, especially away from home on Hockey Day in America. The Flyers swept their 3-game regular season series with the Red Wings thanks to a 3-1 win Sunday in Detroit. It's the Flyers' first season sweep of the Wings of 2 games or more since the 1982-83 season. Oscar Lindblom scored twice in the victory. Here are my observations on the game at Little Caesars Arena. I suspected this would be a game in which the Red Wings would come out hungrier than the Flyers and show some pride in their building and in front of their crowd. The Flyers allowed the Wings to dictate the pace with zero speed through the neutral zone, while being soft on pucks through the first 40 minutes, a near 180 from the game at the Wells Fargo Center. With goals in 2 of his last 3 games, Ivan Provorov has picked up his scoring touch recently with 6 goals this season. The Flyers defenseman won't come close to last year's career-high 17 goals, but I still think he knocks on the door of double digits. He had 8 shots in the game against Pittsburgh, scored a big goal against the Wild and has been more active offensively. Provorov's third-period goal was his 4th career game winner and first of the 2018-19 season. Rocket Provorov gives the Flyers a 2-1 lead. Pick.twitter.com/TB65X6L, NBC Sports Philadelphia, at NBC's Philly, February 18, 2019. In his NHL debut, Philippe Myers was terrific as the team's 7th defenseman, taking the spot of right winger Justin Bailey. I'm not exactly sure what interim head coach Scott Gordon's reasoning was for making the move. Perhaps it was a way to ease him in the lineup, but everything came instinctual to Myers in this game. His only mistake was an errant turnover in his own zone off a backhanded pass late in the second period. I think on a personal level, Carter Hart wanted to prove he could produce a solid game in back-to-back situations. With the Phantoms, Hart was 0-3-0 with an .870 save percentage in the second game of back-to-back starts. His worst play wasn't even a goal against, but rather a bad play with the puck that nearly led to a goal in the opening minute. Hart's rebound control was outstanding, and he was very reactive and on top of the puck for most of this game, finishing with 37 saves. One of his best performances of the season. He may not know whether he'll even be with this team a week from now, but Wayne Simmonds' dedication to his teammates and the organization never ceases to impress. After Anthony Mantha cross-checked Claude Giroux in the back of the head Saturday in Philadelphia, it was Simmonds who dropped the gloves with Mantha in the opening minutes of this game. See story: if Simmonds is traded, who's the player on the team that stands up for teammates and makes the opposition accountable? It's something general manager Chuck Fletcher has to consider. For the second straight game, the Flyers couldn't take advantage of a cold goaltender coming off the bench. Jonathan Bernier was barely tested after Jimmy Howard was pulled once the Flyers scored their fifth goal Saturday. In this game, Bernier left after the first period with an upper body injury after Dylan Larkin collided with him in the first period. In both instances, the Flyers failed to take advantage of a goaltender who had very little time to warm up. Andrew McDonald takes a lot of criticism, and rightfully so. McDonald had a horrific turnover in the first period that led to a Mantha scoring chance, but bounced back with a huge block on Larkin that could have easily been a goal had he not blocked it. Overall, McDonald had a game-high 7 blocked shots against the Wings. Click here to download the My Teams app by NBC Sports. Receive comprehensive coverage of your teams and stream the Flyers, Sixers and Phillies games easily on your device. More on the Flyers. Wayne Simmonds has not received a contract extension from the Flyers and could be traded over the next 8 days before the February 25th deadline. But if anyone knows Simmonds, that won't change him. Known to always stick up for his teammates, Simmonds did it again in the opening 53 seconds of Sunday night's game against the Red Wings at Little Caesars Arena. Simmonds and the Flyers were not pleased with Anthony Mantha, who cross-checked Claude Giroux near the back of the neck, head and into the boards during the final 5 minutes of Saturday's game, a 6-5 overtime victory for the Flyers. To add fuel to the Flyers' frustrations with the hit, Mantha then scored the game-tying goal with 7 seconds left in regulation as Detroit shockingly forced OT. Good luck controversially hitting the Flyers captain and not hearing from Simmonds. The 30-year-old power forward, set to become an unrestricted free agent in the summer, challenged Mantha from the outset. The fight wasn't a doozy, but Simmonds landed some early body shots and definitely connected a few other times, as you can see in the video above. Wayne has played hard, he's been very good of late and I can't commend him enough on his professionalism, his attitude, Flyers general manager Chuck Fletcher said last weekend. You watch him in celebrations after we win a game, he's pretty much the first guy out there to congratulate Carter Hart. He's just a great teammate and has done a lot for this franchise. The Simmonds situation is not an easy one for Fletcher, especially with the Flyers' surge in the playoff chase. See story. On Saturday, Fletcher said it was hard to predict how active he'll be before the deadline. Certainly the level of phone activity has picked up the last week, Fletcher said. It's just hard to say. If we can find a way to improve our team, we'll certainly look at anything, whether it's now or in the summer. We'll have to wait and see if that was Simmonds' last fight as a Flyer. Click here to download the My Teams app by NBC Sports. Receive comprehensive coverage of your teams and stream the Flyers, Sixers and Phillies games easily on your device. More on the Flyers.